Hi, my name is Audra Teamer, and I'm going to be talking to you tonight about the Zika virus. The Zika virus has been around since 1947, and although it is not life threatening, some people have died. And I want to introduce you to my audience. Okay, and I appreciate them giving me their time. Who in here tonight has been bitten by a mosquito? We all have. Quite natural, more than once, but we don't think about whether or not it's a virus that's contracted with the bite or whether or not the mosquito is carrying some type of disease. We just normally shrug it off and go about our day-to-day business. The Zika virus was first discovered in 1947 and it's named after the Zika forest in Uganda. So tonight I want to share with you the main cause of the infection, the symptoms, what the carrier looks like, and where they populate or hibernate from. The Zika virus has been around, like I said earlier, for quite some time, and the carrier of the disease is known as an Aedes aegypti mosquito. And they have normally habitat in Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Islands. The Aedes aegypti mosquito is normally known as the yellow fever mosquito. According to Tibet during the Spanish-American War, there were more U.S. troops that had casualties from yellow fever, yes, from yellow fever that was carried by the Aedes aegypti mosquito than in gunfire. And that's interesting that more troops died from a mosquito bite than from a bullet. So, what are the symptoms? If you would look here on the first slide that I have for you, the symptoms are mostly normally fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. And normally you associate that with, just a fever. You don't think about anything else. But those are the symptoms. And so you're wondering what the carrier looks like. The Aedes aegypti mosquito, according to the research done by Carter, you can see here that it has some distinguishing marks on the front of it, or the thorax, which is the chest area. It has an image that looks like a violin. It's in the shape of a violin or a lyre. And if you look at the hind legs, you can, on this picture here, you can barely see the little bands of white, but they look like stripes. So if you should be bit, quite naturally you can't see it with the naked eye, but if you have a magnifying glass, you can see the distinguishing marks of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So where do they live and where do they habitat? Like I said earlier, Africa, Southeast Asia, Pacific Islands like Antarctica, North America, South America, and Central America. And although, oddly enough, there are some places here in the United States, and if you look over here, it's mostly normally in the warmer climates, but if you come way over here, you see this little dot in Arizona. So the whole state is not populated. It's just that one little place here in Arizona. There's not in California or in Mexico. But like I said, there's a little place in Arizona that they habitat. But mostly over here is known in the warmer climates of the United States. So where do they breed? If you have anything that can collect water, puddles, ponds, if you have any containers that are around your house that collect water, normally you may be creating a breeding place for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So, my audience is still with me. And I appreciate their time. But the next time you get bit, pay attention to your symptoms, because the Zika virus is close related to a lot of other diseases, and people are unaware when if they have contracted the virus. And remember, if you have any standing water, if you have puddle upon anything near your house, or a container that's collecting water, pour it out, because more than likely you're creating a breeding place for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. And when traveling, it would also be a good idea if you visit the CDC Travelers Health site for updated information on when you're traveling. And for those of you that don't know, CDC is the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention. And if you get bit in the future, can you tell the difference between a regular mosquito or Aedes aegypti? Well, probably not with the naked eye. But if you're fortunate enough to zap that little sucker and put it on a magnifying glass, you can see the distinguishing marks of an Aedes mosquito. And there is one good thing that I will leave with you about the Aedes aegypti mosquito, the carrier of the Zika virus, providing that you do survive. Once a person has been infected, he or she is more than likely to be protected in the future from infection. Thank you.